This evening, Acting Police Commissioner issues a strong warning to cops breaking the law. An aircraft was busted with a substantial quantity of narcotics at Mahdia airstrip. 65-member Saudi Arabia delegation of the private and public sector was in Guyana for an investment engagement event. In the region, chilly inflation, rising food, fuel prices spark public anger, and internationally, two-bar shooting leaves 19 dead in South Africa. Welcome to another broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Updates. I am Bibi Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. The top cop has issued a stern warning against any member of the Guyana police force who acts outside of the law, as the source explains.
Acting Commissioner of Police Mr. Clifton Hicken has issued a stern warning against any member of the Guyana Police Force who independently deviates from the force standard operating procedures and acts outside of the law. The top cop made it abundantly clear that no member of the force will receive protection if caught in violation of police regulations. Quote, if any rank is found to have breached the SOPs, then regulations will be enforced, and or if any rank acts independently outside of the law, then the rank will be dealt with coordinately and face the full brunt of the law. He further stated that unprofessionalism would not be condoned and no one would be allowed to tarnish a good image of the force. This comes at a time when the police officers have been making headlines for not following standard operating procedures. Thus, recently a police officer shot and reportedly killed a civilian, Quinton Bacchus, during a sting operation. It is alleged that the rank had learned that Bacchus had an illegal gun to sell. An undercover operation was set up to capture Bacchus. However, the police alleged that Bacchus was tipped off and shot at the cop. He was shot 6 times by the police officer. Thus far, the police officer and 2 of his colleagues are in police custody pending charges. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. President Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali has extended an open invitation to investors of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to invest now, promising that Guyana is ready to remove bureaucratic hurdles. The president made this announcement while speaking at the Saudi Arabia Guyana Investment Engagement inaugural ceremony at the Arthur Chung Convention Center, Liliendal, on Saturday. President Ali told the 65-member Saudi delegation of the public and private sector, led by Deputy Minister for the Investors Outreach, Mr. Badur Al-Badur, you are truly pushing at open doors.
We cannot wait to catch up with anyone. If you want to be our partner, and you're ready to be our partner, let us take the conversation forward. Let us not go in circular motion. Let us establish what is it we want to partner on and how we can secure that partnership.
The president said while Guyana is open to investment, partnerships between the two countries must be a win-win situation for both states.
This has to be and must be a win-win situation for both the private sectors. It has to be a win for Guyana and a win for Saudi Arabia. And let me be clear, the only thing that determines who our partners are is very simple. We are not hooked on any ideological partner. We are not hooked on any partner by superiority. We are not hooked on any partner by ethnicity. We are hooked on partners who embrace us with principles and values and give Guyana the best possible deal. This government that I am in charge of is not wedded to any preferential partner, whether they are from east, west, north, south, northeast, northwest, wherever. Our only objective is to get the best possible outcome for the people of this country because they deserve it.
President Ali also challenged Saudi Arabia to make monies available to Guyana from the Saudi Investment and Development Fund that could be used to invest in any project. Senior Minister in the Office of the President with responsibility for finance, Dr. Ashni Singh, told the delegation that the government has laid out an array of areas for investment in Guyana's non-oil sector. Some of the areas highlighted by Dr. Singh were infrastructure, healthcare, tourism, agriculture, housing, renewable energy, and education. Meanwhile, Bahadur Al-Bahadur, Deputy Minister for Investor Outreach in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, assured of Saudi Arabia's commitment to building stronger investment, trade, and business link between the Middle Eastern country and Guyana. He noted that the country is invested in establishing a permanent residence in Guyana. Guyana and Saudi Arabia established formal diplomatic relations on February 22, 2012. In an ongoing attempt to purge the streets of illegal firearms, police ranks continue to successfully seize guns and ammunition. On Sunday, police in Regional Division 4A, acting on information, went to Regent Street and intercepted a parked motor vehicle. During a search of the car, the ranks unearthed a 9mm pistol with serial number filed out, along with magazine and 7 life-matching rounds of ammunition under the driver's seat. The 2 occupants of the car, 30-year-old driver and the 22-year-old passenger, both of Middle Street, Sparendam, East Coast, Demerara, were arrested and taken along with the seized weapon and vehicle to the Brickdam police station. They both remain in custody pending further investigations. Also early this morning, police ranks from Regional Division 4A busted another male with a 9mm Glock pistol with the serial number filed out and 6 matching rounds of ammunition. Ranks acting on information went to Kitty Public Road in the vicinity of the Russian Embassy, where they observed an Allion motor car proceeding in a western direction along the road. The driver of the vehicle was intercepted and stopped. A search of the vehicle found nothing illegal. However, a body search of the 29-year-old driver of the vehicle led to the discovery of the gun and ammunition. The suspect was told of the offense, arrested, and escorted to the Kitty police station, where he was placed into custody assisting with investigation. Stick around after the break. Home invasion in Sophia resulted in the theft of over $1 million in gold jewelry from a gold miner, and teen caught on fire while in police custody.
Traveling soon? Then come into John Lewis Styles on Waterloo Street and let's help you choose the right set of luggage. You can choose to buy 3-piece luggage sets, or separate pieces, but the sets are always a better deal. Either available in soft poly, or ABS hard side material, with 4-wheeled spinners, and in many colors too. Also available are carry-on luggage, computer bags, duffel bags, backpacks, travel pillows, blankets and lots more to make your trip enjoyable. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
They say that when it hits you. A feeling so strong that it's impossible not to give in to a juicy piece of KFC. To feel elevated by the aroma and to free fall into its exciting flavor. Some call it love, attraction, desire. We call it KFC. Ignite your senses with KFC.
Welcome back. A Colombian and a Brazilian were detained when they were found at the Mahdia airstrip with a sizable amount of narcotics in their aircraft. Dale Jarvis has more details.
An intelligence-led operation by the Guyana police force resulted in a Colombian and a Brazilian national arrested when their plane landed in the Mahdia airstrip with a large quantity of suspected cocaine and cannabis on Sunday, July 10, 2022. The Cessna Skyline single-engine airplane is believed to have come from Venezuela. According to a police report, around 2:20 p.m. when the aircraft landed, the police conducted a search. The ranks unearthed 10 large parcels containing suspected cocaine and a small package containing suspected cannabis. The two occupants of the aircraft were 23-year-old Brazilian national Matias Vinicius Pontius Alberto and 43-year-old Colombian national Rodriguez Kenan DeAndres Estevian, were questioned and arrested. The suspected cocaine and cannabis were seized along with one satellite phone, 2 GPS, 2 cellular phones, 1 Icon radio set and documents. Both men were escorted to the Guyana Police Force Criminal Investigations Department at Ivleri, where the drugs were weighed. The cocaine amounted to over 600 pounds in 250 packs, with a street value of over 435 million Guyana dollars. The cannabis weighed over 120 pounds in 50 packs, with a street value of over 49 million Guyana dollars. Investigations are in progress. Reporting for Headline News Update, Dale Jervis.
Thanks, Dale. Police are investigating an alleged robbery under arms committed on a 30-year-old gold miner of Section B Field Sapphire of $1.1 million in gold jewelry on Saturday, July 9th. Inquiries disclosed that around 7:20 p.m., the victim was standing in his yard when he saw 3 unidentifiable males walking along the street heading east. The men suddenly turned into the victim's yard and confronted him. The suspects, all armed with handguns, demanded that the man hand over 7 gold chains that he was wearing at the time, valued at over $1 million. The 30-year-old gold miner refused. However, one of the perpetrators pulled off the 7 gold chains from the man's neck before escaping in an unknown direction. Inquiries are ongoing. The Guyana Police Force is looking into the circumstances surrounding a 17-year-old male who was burned by fire while in police custody. More from Esther Sobers.
Pandemonium erupted inside the Vigilance Police Station on the East Coast Darara after an inmate's clothing caught fire on Sunday, July 10th. 17-year-old Jaheim Peters, also known as Coolie Boy, a fisherman from Annandale, Eastern Cape, was accused of robbery under arms. Peters was the only one in the lockups at the time of the incident. Peters, however, has asserted that after being detained by the police and placed into holding cell, they tortured him. Sometime later, screams were allegedly heard coming from the lockups. Upon investigation, the rank discovered that Peters' shirt was on fire. The emergency medical team from Melanie Fire Station were summoned and Peters was treated. He was questioned and related to police that he was given a lighter by another person in custody on the bench, and he lit the same and was playing with it, and his jersey caught a fire. Peters was escorted to the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation, where he is being treated for burn injuries to his left side rib areas and hand. He is in a stable condition. Following the incident, 2 police officers from the Vigilant Police Station have been placed under close arrest, while the Office of Professional Responsibility is investigating the matter. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Stovers.
Thanks, Esther. Don't go away. After the break, Sri Lanka protesters staying put until Prime Minister leaves office, and 2 bar shooting leaves 19 dead in South Africa.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 4-6 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Traveling soon? Then come into John Lewis Styles on Waterloo Street and let's help you choose the right set of luggage. You can choose to buy 3-piece luggage sets or separate pieces, but the sets are always a better deal. Either available in soft poly or ABS hard side material, with 4-wheeled spinners, and in many colors too. Also available are carry-on luggage, computer bags, duffel bags, backpacks, travel pillows, blankets and lots more to make your trip enjoyable. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at news in the region and around the world. The rising cost of living is causing economic turbulence across Latin America. In Chile, inflation is forecast to hit 12% by the end of this year, fueled in part by political uncertainty. Al Jazeera's Lucia Newman reports.
For generations of Chileans who've never experienced high inflation, rising prices of food and fuel are a shock. Saleswoman Claudia Araneda says she's never seen anything like it.
The other day, I paid $12 for a tiny piece of meat and bones. For that price, I used to buy a kilo of fillet or sirloin steak. I'm not joking, this is all I have. Biscuits, a capsicum, 2 tins for the cat, and an avocado. $16.
In the last 6 months, inflation has surpassed 7%, compared to the usual 3% a year. Last month, the central bank raised interest rates yet again by 9%, which means new homeowners are struggling to repay their loans. And to make matters significantly worse, the US dollar has reached a historic high against the Chilean peso, surpassing the 900 peso mark. In fact, experts say that it will likely go over 1,000 pesos in the next couple of months. And this is extremely problematic because 2 out of every 3 items in the basic basket of goods that Chileans consume is imported in US dollars. Chile needs dollars to buy petrol and gas, which it does not produce. Fuel and food have shot up most of all, mainly due to the Ukraine crisis. But there are also internal factors. The previous government overheated the economy with aggressive pandemic subsidies. It's been followed by months of political uncertainty over the economic repercussions of a new constitution that could be approved in September.
Unfortunately, we are in a very stormy scenario. The authorities will have to work wonders to revert this situation.
The new government was elected on a platform of ambitious social reforms and promised tax hikes to pay for them. But given the economic scenario, many question this week's decision to push ahead with it, a move Finance Minister Mario Marcel defends, even though it will further spook investors.
When
the state's resources are limited, the government must prioritize. Then the next government or minister changes it or assigns resources elsewhere in a discretionary manner. That ends up eroding the legitimacy of the state's public policies.
Whatever the reasons, inflation and uncertainty, both of which have been strangers to Chile, are becoming everyday words in what was Latin America's most stable economy. Lucia Newman, Al Jazeera, Santiago.
Internationally, protesters in Sri Lanka's capital, Colombo, continues to occupy the offices of the President and Prime Minister for a second consecutive day, vowing they will stay put until both officially have resigned. Al Jazeera's Maneli Fernandez reports.
On Sunday, relative calm returned to Sri Lanka. Protesters remained at the President's official residence, making use of facilities normally reserved for the country's elites. A real carnival atmosphere here at the president's official residence. The great facade you see behind me, you notice the architecture. It goes back many, many decades. And this was the site of that massive sea of people who overran this property, seeing the exit of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa on Friday. And the sheer number of people trying to get in to see the president's house is posing a real problem. Those who were part of the protest campaign, who are still trying to control some of the crowds, are urging people to be careful. There is structural damage, obviously, a very old property, and just cannot handle the sheer numbers. Climbing up the staircase, there has been structural issues. So that's posing a very real problem and a danger. And this, obviously, the swimming pool at the president's house, the water looking very much worse for the wear. But those iconic pictures of people diving into this right after the protesters essentially overran this residence. Sri Lanka's 22 million people have for months been suffering the worst economic crisis the nation has seen since independence in 1948. The summer heat worsening electricity blackouts, fuel, food and medical shortages, and years of political corruption.
The greatest thing the people and the youth of this country has ever done is to chase this man away. He was expelled, chased away. He did not resign.
As the protests swelled on Saturday, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa fled his overrun residence. His whereabouts are unknown.
He is no longer the president of Sri Lanka. He has been expelled by the citizens of Sri Lanka. Therefore, this is a victorious moment.
Official resignations from leaders for a nation in rebellion, now little more than formalities.
This is going to be an extremely critical time to ensure there's political stability as well as economic stability at a time where there's also a law and order situation erupting. So if violence is not contained, there is concern that this is going to deepen the crisis.
Overseas remittances and tourism are the main sources of revenue here. After bomb attacks on churches and hotels in 2019 and then the COVID-19 pandemic, both dried up. The recent political turmoil has been a long time coming and is likely to be an equally long time to recover from. But for millions of Sri Lankans, it's not clear yet whether the shortages will end and prices come down. Minal Fernandez, Al Jazeera, Colombo.
And finally, 2 bar shootings, one in a township close to Johannesburg and another in eastern South Africa, has left 19 people dead. Al Jazeera's Katia Lopez Hodayan reports.
Overwhelming pain as families are called to identify their relatives. It was after midnight when police say more than a dozen people were shot dead by gunmen in a bar near Johannesburg. Bodies piled near the entrance are victims who tried to run out and escape.
What we know is that the assailants, they just entered into that space while people were enjoying themselves and they shot randomly to them.
Investigators have described the shooting as a massacre.
It saddens us that anyone now who possesses a gun wants to try their gun on our communities. And we wish to call upon communities to actually really indeed assist the police in bringing to book those perpetrators.
Police say nothing was stolen from the business. Now their focus turns on catching those responsible and finding out why the victims were targeted. Katia Lopez Odoyan, Al Jazeera.
And that is it for today's regional and international news. Here now is your 3-day weather forecast. And that is all for this edition of Channel 2 Headline News Update. Tune in on Tuesday at 7 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.